Welcome back, everyone, for the next part of Rate the Track. We're going around checking and rating from a scale of 1 to 10 all the music from each Tekken game. So we're now up to Tekken 5, the last Tekken game of the 6th console generation. Arguably my second favorite overall OST of the Tekken series as a whole. As I've already talked about before, Tekken 4 remains pretty much my third favorite OST in the series and underrated, and Tekken Tag arguably is my personal favorite of all time. However, Tekken 5 is my second. Easily, bar none. Now, unfortunately, due to some copyright issues, my personal favorite track from Tekken 5 isn't even available on this game jukebox for some reason. While it is, I believe, available still on the PS or on Tekken 7, weirdly enough. But with that said, let's get started and enjoy the music. First up, starting out, select mode, which funny enough is what I use in this game. Overall, just for a main menu, I think it gets, for what it is, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. A pretty good overall character select theme. I would probably rate this maybe the third or fourth favorite character select theme in the series. Like I said before, the gold standard to me is Tekken Tags, which is a 10 out of 10. Personally, this one, I'll give this as a select character theme. I give it maybe a 6.5, and that's just my own personal opinion, though. Next up, the base version, Dragon's Nest, which is arguably one of my probably favorite tracks on the soundtrack of vanilla Tekken 5. Overall, I give this piece, I have to give it probably, I give this one probably a 7.5 out of 10. Screw it, give an 8 out of 10. It's really good and I enjoy it. Next up, this one, I can't give this probably, probably can't give this one higher than a 6 out of 10. I get some people probably like this track more than me. Now this one, I'd probably give this track, I'd probably lean towards a 6.5 out of 10, 6.5. Or, I'll raise it to a 7 out of 10. Since I do appreciate piano music. And once it kicks in, it is actually pretty good. Next up, 5 out of 10. Middle of the road for me. This one, sadly, I'm not a big fan of. Give it a 5.5. This one, however, is on my top 5. I give Moonlight Wilderness. I give this track an 8.5 out of 10, 8.5 easily. Nah, screw it. It's getting a 9 out of 10. It is that good, and it fits perfectly with nighttime with a full moon out in the beautiful meadows in the dark. It's just perfect. Next, however, now this one I like more than probably some people. For me, Gold Rush, I give it a solid 7 out of 10. Because once it kicks in, it's actually pretty good. Next up, we have this one. I'm going to have to give probably a 6 out of 10. It's not too bad overall. Just not one of the best. But here we go. Another one of my favorite tracks, especially off of Vanilla 5. This is going to get an 8 out of 10. I love the pipe organ. Very suitable track for Devil Jin in the cathedral. Streets. Now this isn't the best version of it, but this version gets a 7.5 out of 10. Then there's the Ashura remix. I give this an 8 out of 10. It's another very solid, I think, music. But yeah, I much prefer this remix version of the theme. I dig the weird and bizarreness. But like I said, it is definitely a solid 8 out of 10. Great track. Next up, this one I'm gonna have to give a 6.5 out of 10. Next up, I'll give this one probably about a 6 out of 10. Now this one isn't too bad. I don't mind it. For me, I lean towards probably about 6.5 for this one. This one, Poolside, I'm gonna give a 7 out of 10. Actually, Yeah, I think a 7 out of 10 is pretty reasonable for Poolside. Next up, the Finalizer. It still sucks though they removed Ground Zero Funk, which was a perfect 10 out of 10. But the Finalizer is a solid, great theme. I think that does suit Shinpachi. For me, the Finalizer gets a solid 8 out of 10. Yeah, screw it. I'm giving Finalizer an 8.5 and a half out of 10. I think it does deserve it. It is definitely one of the better, more interesting boss themes. And it builds up really good too. Next up, yeah, just put in your name and stuff. For what it is, middle of the road. Or may not, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Five out of 10. And now it's time to go on to Dark Resurrection. Well, in a minute. But for being the main ending boss, like game ending credits music, and this actually is pretty good as over time it plays and gets better. I'll give this, I swing somewhere between a 7 and a 7.5 for this. Here we go, Dark Resurrection character theme. This one I actually think is better. I'll give it, as a character select theme, it gets an 8 out of 10. I think it's one of the better Tekken character select themes. And I've already mentioned my opinion on this one. Oh man, this is so good. This gets, I'm gonna have to be honest, I have to give this specific piece a 9 out of 10. Love it. Yeah, once it kicks in, it's really good. This one, I'll give it, because once it kicks in, it gets better. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Another pretty good, solid one. This also gets a 7 out of 10. This one, it's better than the original fight music, which I think I gave the original like a 6 or something. I'll give this one a 6.5 out of 10. Another solid one gets a 7 out of 10. No, take that back. I'll upgrade to a 7.5. Seven out of 10. Another pretty good one. I lean towards maybe an 8 out of 10 on this track. Really good. Honestly, Dark Resurrection, most of the tracks are solid. This one's gonna get probably a solid, maybe somewhere between a 6.5 to a 7 out of 10. Another great remix, which gets an 8 out of 10. This one gets I'm leaning towards a 7 out of 10. This one gets a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I skipped over a piece because I plan on saving some of the best for last. This one gets a 7 out of 10. Just keeps building up and getting better. This one, I'm leaning towards maybe a 6.5. This one, I'm leaning towards a 6.5. Around a 6 out of 10. One of my less favorite tracks. Also another probably around 6 to a 6.5. This is this version's theme for Jinpachi. Sadly, it's not as good as the Finalizer, which I ended up giving like an 8. This one, I can't give it better than maybe a 7 out of 10. One reason it would even get that is because the guitars, once that kicks in, it gets better. Middle of the road. Nothing too special for me. Give it about 6. Maybe about 6. This is one I forgot all about. This gets a 7 out of 10. Not too bad. I give it around maybe a 7 to a 7.5. About the same, and then now I say for last, the two best from Dark Resurrection to finish it off with. And here they are. Pink Pop I absolutely love this. Of course, this was the thing for Lily in Dark Resurrection. This gets a 9 out of 10. Now, screw it. I'm giving this track. Yeah, I have to give it almost a perfect. It gets a 9.5 out of 10. That's how much I love this track. Let it kick in. Now you see why I love it so much, maybe. With that said, now, my favorite track of all time off of Dark Resurrection. Snow Castle. This gets a perfect 10 out of 10 score. It's the only thing that I give a perfect score to outside of Ground Zero Funk. Even though it's not here, still I have to say it. Ground Zero Funk still gets a 10 out of 10, even if it's not on here. And with that said, that is it for this edition of Rate the Track, Tekken 5 edition. Stay tuned next time for Tekken 6. See y'all then. Stay safe out there.